There's this hidden sequence of events, almost like an invisible operating system that quietly runs and determines pretty much every cycle you experience in your life. And here's the thing. Once you see it, you really can't unsee it. Okay, let's get into this. I mean, you know the feeling, right? It's that sense of déjà vu. The same kind of relationship issues pop up. You hit the same ceiling at work, or you find yourself wrestling with the same old personal habits that just won't budge. It feels like you're on a treadmill, putting in all the effort but just not getting anywhere new. And man, is it frustrating. You consciously decide, okay, this time it's going to be different. You try to take different actions, make different choices, but somehow the outcome is weirdly familiar. So why does that happen? Well, it might be because we're all looking at the problem from the wrong end. And that brings us to this huge, common misunderstanding about how change really works. We can call it the action-first fallacy. This is what we're told our whole lives, right? If you want a different result, just do something different. Work harder, be more disciplined, just take more action. And look, it seems totally logical, but it's missing the most crucial part of the entire story. I want you to imagine a river for a second. Most of us are trying to change where the river goes by splashing around at the very end of it, right where it meets the sea. That's action. But the real power, the thing that actually decides the river's path and its flow, that's all happening way, way upstream, at the source. This right here, this quote puts it perfectly. Action is one of the final steps in the process. It's not the first. Think of it like this. Action is what delivers the baby, but it didn't create it. So, if action isn't the true cause, what is? Well, this leads us to a really fascinating mental model for understanding this whole thing. It's called the MDS framework. So MDS stands for the multi-dimensional sequence of events, and that's basically the hidden architecture we were just talking about. It's the full step-by-step sequence that explains how your internal world, your thoughts, your beliefs, systematically becomes your external world, your reality. This is the upstream source of that river. So how does it actually work? Let's break down exactly how the sequence plays out one step at a time. Okay, so check this out. Look where action is on this list. It's way down at number 4, not number 1. The whole entire process kicks off with something called frequency. From your frequency, you get your intuition, which then gives you these little mental nudges. And those nudges are what finally inspire your action, which leads to your reality. It all starts with frequency. Now, I know frequency might sound a little abstract or out there, but it's actually really simple. It's just a word for your fundamental inner state. It's your self-concept. It's your core belief about who you are. So, for example, a frequency of I am confident is a totally different inner state from I am insecure. It's about who you are being on the inside from one moment to the next. Your frequency is, without a doubt, the most powerful point in this entire chain. Think of it like a row of dominoes. Your frequency is the first and the biggest domino. Once you tip that one over, it dictates exactly how all the other dominoes are going to fall. Everything, and I mean everything, flows from here. All right, so let's look at a couple of real-world examples to see how this actually plays out. This is where it's all going to click, and you'll see exactly why just trying harder by changing your actions so often falls flat. So let's take fitness. Let's say someone's core frequency is, I am an unfit person. That's their self-concept. Now, from that source, what kind of intuition do you think they're going to download? Well, their inner guidance system, those little mental nudges, are constantly going to whisper things like, it's raining, you should skip the gym, or what's the point of one salad? Just eat the cake. And here is the crucial point. Even if that person forces themselves to take fit actions, like dragging themselves to the gym, their internal unfit frequency is just way more powerful. The upstream source will always override downstream effort. You can't get to the destination of fitness if your starting point is unfitness. It's a contradiction. And it's the exact same thing in relationships. If someone's frequency is defined by past heartbreak and a deep sense of distrust, their intuition is literally going to guide them to create more of that same reality. Their inner voice will nudge them to look for flaws in their partner, to be suspicious, to always expect the worst. And those nudges lead to actions that, well, often make sure things go wrong. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? If you want to break a cycle, you have to change the intuition that's guiding your choices. And since we now know that your intuition is a direct download from your frequency, you can probably see where the real work has to be done. So, this brings us to the final and honestly the most important takeaway from this whole framework. If you really want to create lasting, meaningful change in your life, where do you actually begin? You have to go upstream. You have to go to the source. Before you even think about changing what you do, you have to first change who you are being. This is about consciously choosing a new self-concept, a new mental attitude, and using your imagination to feel what it would be like to be the person who already has the life you want. You change the source first. And when you do that, new intuitions, new mental nudges, and new actions, they all just follow naturally. Wow, this is such a powerful way to think about it. Those repeating cycles you see on the outside, they're just a mirror, reflecting a consistent internal state. The cycle isn't something that's happening to you, it's being broadcast from you. The call is coming from inside the house. And that really leaves us with the ultimate question. The question for you, when you look at the repeating patterns in your own life, what inner state, what self-concept, what frequency have you been choosing, maybe without even realizing it? Because the key is, it is a choice. So now that you know the sequence starts with you, what frequency will you start choosing consciously from now on?